Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Matrix back with another crazy episode of customer service where the customer is not always right. And today we had to bring my boy G back, okay? From the West Coast to the East Coast, we brought him back. Bird Gang, we whipped them Chiefs ass, okay? I had to bring it back. I don't know if this is your first time tuning in, go check out some of the stories. They are crazy. They're wild. Some of the best stories on the show thus far. And if you think I'm lying, just check out the link. I mean, 30
Yeah.
seconds. I guarantee you're gonna find it crazy. All right. Well, I'm gonna let my boy do what he do because these stories is crazy.
Man, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? How you doing? You know, another day in this blessed day, man. I appreciate you, Matrix, Mr. Matrix, right? Always making it happen. We're gonna keep it happening, man. Back in this customer service chat, bro. Let me tell you what, man. I really think that bringing this out for people to talk about is just a great thing because you never know, who you run into in the service industry and how it could change your experience within that customer service realm. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna add, some experiences that I've had. And I got many. If you tuned into the last one, man, the last one was crazy. And let me tell you what, there's some things that you do through customer service that can really create a positive feel, and a positive environment. And there's some things that leave a stain in your life, bro. That last one was a stain for me, dude. That last one was a stain. And I'll never go back to it ever again. Like, I left that one.
I'm like, damn, this really happened. This is real.
It happens, man. It happens, and it's crazy because you don't know what you're gonna run into until you actually run into it, and you just don't know how other people can affect your day, and how if you allow it to affect your day, it can really tear you up throughout the day, And there's some things that you just let roll off right at your shoulder. You're a business owner. You just got to let it go. You got to deal with it and try to recoup and recover, awesome bamboozle. Man. But let me tell you what, man. Another experience I had, was in the service industry, and the service industry is wild, right? It's absolutely wild, man, because and what I mean by service industry is, serving tables and bartending, and out here in Vegas, you really got to build like a reputation when you work in the gaming industry. And what I mean by gaming industry is a bar has machines, and there's so many machines that each bar is allowed to have. They have to have a license, and let me tell you what, the type of people that come into these bars is kind of like what your surrounding is, and again, let me tell you what, man, these people with money are terrible, bro. They talk about hiding from people with lesser money and locking their doors in their neighborhoods. Like, the people with money are just absolutely terrible. And between that and some law enforcement, it just makes you wonder, like, when you're on the other side of that bar, like, what makes it okay that I have to tolerate this because A, you got money, you drive a nice car, you live in a nice neighborhood, you're part of the community, and so let me just jump right into this. So there is a very famous person in this town, right? Yeah. And I'm not going to put his name on blast or anything, but he's a doctor, right? And at this time I was bartending for this gentleman. Right. And not only was I bartending, I was brought in from a friend to come and do a private, bartending gig at his mansion. And I did so well, he invited me back. Right. And this time he was just like, bring somebody with you, bring a cocktail waitress with you, and I'm like, okay, cool. So, I bring this cocktail waitress back. Now, mind you, this time was a booster for a school in town. It's a real popular school. And and it was their alumni, right?
Ah,
And not only was it their alumni, but there's a lot of government officials and other doctors and law enforcement
oh, yeah.
representatives and
Bigwig.
all of these white collar people at this at
Okay, you
this
put out
function,
the big guns. Okay, yeah.
right? At this function. So I've got a full selection behind me. Whatever you want to drink, they paid for it. I serve it. You know, I got a tip jar, a big vase of a tip jar, right? And
I'm all right.
right, and I'm like, okay, this is what you put your money in, right? And now, mind you, all the drinks are free because it's a boosters. It's up to them to tip, right? And it was surprising, how all those people with money didn't have cash, right? And then on top of that, it's like they change. People change when alcohol gets into them, you know. And I don't care if you say you can hold your alcohol. I don't care if you think you can hold your alcohol. I don't care if you've been drinking for 25, 30 years. You've been drinking for 25, 30 years wrong. Like I'm just telling you, I on the other side of that counter, I'm sober. You know what I mean? I'm sober, minus the fact I sneak away, get to my car, hit something real quick, come back, on a quick intermission break, get my mind right before I deal with these creeps.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so this time I have me a beautiful cocktail waitress with me this time. Friend of mine. And this person that owned this house that is throwing this function is a doctor, right? Very known doctor in the orthopedics community, and his whole entourage is there, man. The chief of police at that time, the mayor, the governor, senators, uh, fuck, bro, everybody's
Everybody
there,
except the
bro.
Avengers.
Everybody that's supposed to be somebody in Las Vegas is there, right? And we're suit and tie, buttoned up. Cocktail waitress has black and white, black skirt, white long collar, white collar, long sleeve, professional service shirt, apron,
Right.
right? And so about, I say 45 minutes in is when the party starts to loosen up. Let me tell you, bro, this house is a mansion. Okay. There's a globe of a fish tank on the wall, bro, that has like, scorpion fish and sharks and all kinds of shit. It's a globe of a fish tank. You could fit 5, 6 people in this globe, no problem. Right. And that the backside of the view is the entire valley of Las Vegas. And there's pillars in his backyard that are like marble pillars that you can take this photo op. This was insane. Like, this dude's got money, right? He's the real deal, right? His names are on billboards and buildings, right? And so it's like, this guy is what it is, right? He's giving me an opportunity, man. I'm about to get paid. And again, remind you, it amazes me how rich people don't carry cash. But right, and how cheap they are as they tip. Terrible, bro. Absolutely. If your drinks are free and you can't come with $20 for the night,
Right.
man, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. And then for my cocktail waitress to get physically harassed, bro. By people of stature, people of the community, by law enforcement representatives, by judges, by Congress, bro, by electives, bro, by doctors. And I'm not talking about like a normal physician. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about, the Section 8 doctor. I'm not talking about the welfare doctor, bro. I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about therapy. I'm not talking about the veterinarians, bro. You know what I mean? I'm talking about heart surgeons. I'm talking about brain surgeons, like top dog orthopedic surgeons. Like, I'm talking about
a lot. Will be the reason for disrespecting her like that.
man, right? And for her to be groped and harassed, bro, to where I had to step. Actually, the wife had to step up and tell him, "Hey, bro, what the fuck are you doing?"
Wow.
Right? The wife. So now the wife is mad at my cocktail waitress, right? Because of course she don't blame the husband for his actions nor his surrounding. It was like since he did it, everybody else could do it. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. You know, and I'm talking about smacking her in her ass, bro, groping her, reaching around, you reach around the shoulder and do a little fucking booty fondle, and the smelling behind the ear, bro, and, trying to put money down her shirt, like, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. It got to a point to where we had to pack up and leave, dude. Yeah, that's something, hey, man, take care of your own shit. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, this is,
Absolutely. Yeah. Because she's with you, so she's under your protection. It's time to roll. Like,
man,
if I don't go,
you're
I'm going to hurt one of y'all if I don't leave. So
man.
it's time to pack up and go.
And I'm going to hurt one of y'all, but I'm going to end up going to jail because I have all these government officials here. Everybody here is intertwined with one major person. There's really nothing you can do. It's like the Diddy effect. There's really nothing much you can do once you're trapped in that situation. Like you're just trapped in it, And so it's like, come on, man, come on. All these major people, bro, male and female, and wives of them.
Right.
None
So
of them came single.
Wives know that they're getting cheated on because he's doing it in your face. And like you said, she gonna blame her because she ain't about to lose that money in them connections that he got. So she gonna blame her. She ain't about to divorce that. I need them connections. Now, if you got judges and stuff there, he got enough power to in the divorce, you don't get nothing. So
you don't get nothing, man.
She gonna blame the waiter. Yeah, that is crazy.
And at that time, you really had to get what you can get when it came to those gigs. Because, here in Las Vegas, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so that being said, it's like when you're in the customer service industry, if you don't treat that situation accordingly, you could not know the people you need to know. And you can be pushed out of knowing the people that you need to know. And especially in the hospitality industry. It doesn't matter what part of it you're in when it comes to beverage service, food service, nightlife. Nightlife. Nightlife is wild, bro.
I told you I gotta get out there, man. I gotta get out
Nightlife is wild.
I only hear about it.
Nightlife is wild. It might be past our time though, my man. Like, I don't know. Could we go out at our age? Like, can we go out our age and like go to these nightclubs? For me, I live here. So for me, it's kind of over it. The strip isn't my thing. I work there all the time,
I come out there. I'm just going one time for the experience. I am not trying to party like I'm 21. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I just want to go and be like, okay, I seen it. I lived. I experienced. Okay, good. Because like you said, too old. I don't want none of the negative crap. I don't need nobody being drunk, throwing up on me, peeing on me, wanting to fight. What the hell? I'm out. I'll be back at the airport in 2 minutes. I'm going. Get out of here.
Hey, man. Hey. And it'll all happen. All of the above.
Within the same hour.
The stories are true, bro. It's not if, it's when.
Good point.
It's not how, it's who.
It's coming.
It's coming. Your surroundings coming. And then being in that service industry, like you gotta know too who you're gonna serve. So it's like now I can have, drunk Jimmy James walk up to my bar swerving and swirling, talk about I got a pocket full of money and I got a platinum chain on when it's gold plated, It's like like come on, man.
One of them.
Come on. Man, Vegas is wild. And the nightlife is even worse, And I still think the funniest place to work and And it may suck for anybody else, but the funniest place to work is working at a stairwell, an exit stairwell at a nightclub. The exit stair, so the exit stairwell at a nightclub is a crazy place to have customer service, because when you're at the bottom of the stairwell, you see everything that's coming down. And typically the guy that works the exit stairwell was the guy that worked the entrance into the nightclub, and they rotate them, right? So sometimes you'll be able to see what they look like when they come in, and then see what they look like on their way out.
Before and after.
On the out. No. Now, when you're working that stairwell, you can't be too much of a jerk, because it starts shit. It starts problems. Someone's drunk, take what you say the wrong way, and it turns into a big fiasco, right? And then you got drunk little thoughts. What do they call them nowadays? Ratchets.
Yeah.
They call them ratchets, coming down the stairs, bro, missing half their clothes, eyelashes ripped off, missing the shoe, makeup smeared across their face, dude. The famous is the fall down the stairs in a skirt and their tampon string hanging out, bro. That's the fucking famous. That happens often. That happens often. And typically those are the girls that turn down the dudes in the nightclub. You know what I'm saying?
What the hell? No. Come on, man. Say it ain't so. Wow.
Hey. Hey. Matrix. That's some funny shit.
Old tampon hanging out. Excuse me, Mr. Drop.
That's some funny shit, bro. That's some funny shit.
Yeah.
That's some shit that's like, okay, like, do I help this chick up? Like, or like,
right. You touch her. Yo, that's crazy.
You're gonna have to help yourself up. Yeah.
Where your girlfriend's at?
Yeah. And then I get you just standing there, you ain't shit, you can't help me up. No. Nah, man. No. You ain't shit, big ass useless security guard in the stairwell. Yeah, man, I'm useless, all right. I'm not here to help you up. I'm here to make sure you leave.
Exactly.
That's it.
I'm supporting you out.
That's it. As you just, yeah, man. Rapunzel ass string hanging from your ass. If you don't get your Rapunzel rope out of my face.
What?
You have to deal with that.
Once I see the string, the night is over. Y'all gotta go. Whatever you came with, exit quickly.
That way.
Yes, please. Please.
There's the door.
I'll give you a drink to leave. Run as far away from this place as possible. Don't ever go.
Man, how do you show up with shoes and leave with no shoes?
Yeah, I've seen that plenty of nights. You pull up to the club, chick got them in a hand, or lost them. Where my other shoe? You lost your shoe? Okay.
You were only there 2 hours. Yeah, how did you show up with shoes and leave without shoes?
Yo, that's wild. That's wild.
I can't do it, bro. The service industry shit is crazy, man. I think my favorite part is seeing people on TV though, and seeing people how they act when they're off TV.
The real you.
The real you. Not the character you're portraying.
Right.
not the you know, the fake role model that you're putting on TV, you know, and then I see you in person, you know, and it's all good to see people grow, but it's like when you meet a celebrity in person, like this one celebrity I met,
Oh.
man,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't working no special job or nothing like that, dude. It was in Sacramento, right? And I was working at the Arden Fair Mall in Sacramento. Shout out to Sacktown, you know, and Northern California, you know, but I was working out in Arden Fair Mall in a Foot Locker, right? A kid's Foot Locker. And
I should have knew you then.
right, I had to plug, right? I had to plug, bro. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the celebrity comes walking by. And I want to say it's not my first time running into a celebrity. You know, when you're in California and you're in Las Vegas, man, like you run into celebrities all the time. You know, like it's pretty often, depending on where you work. You know, but you know, so this time it probably was like my handful of times of meeting a celebrity. I met like sports athletes before then, basketball players, baseball players, hockey players. You know, before this time meeting a movie star, right? And at this time, this movie star was kind of, I would say it was 2001. So he might have been in the decline of his movie career. So I see this dude walking through the mall with his entourage.
He's on a
And he's
decline.
by my store. Huh?
I said he's on a decline and he got an entourage.
He's got a little entourage, you know. You know, I mean, why else? Why else would you do like a public pop up with a little mini entourage? You know,
He wanted attention. Okay.
yeah, a group of short, fat dudes with you too. You know, and it was crazy because it was like, you know, it was just a bunch of just normal dudes, and they're bouncing around like they were all movie stars, but there was just one movie star there. Like none of them grew to be anything. If they did, I've forgotten about who they were. So, you know, whatever. But there was just one movie star. And I told him, I said, hey man, I'm giving out my employee discount today, man. Why don't you come in and buy some shoes for some kids for your family? And he looked at me and he goes, do you know who I am? He was like, he goes, does it look like I need a discount? Right? And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I met richer people than you, bro. And they've taken my discount. And as a matter of fact, they've had to plug on the trade for shoes. You know, I'll give you these shoes, you give me your shoes, you know, because you're an NBA bet star. You give me a pair of your shoes, and I'll give you a pair of my shoes from my store. We'll swap.
That's a good trade. I like that trade.
You know, you give me your signed shoes, and I give you a free pair, man. What's up for your kids, for your wife?
Right.
You know, what's up?
Yeah, I'm taking that trade
all day, right? And so this dude, this guy, man, and I want to say at that time a douchebag because he was a total douchebag, bro. He was. I had to say it, dog. Even if it falls in your lap, this falls in your lap, bro. You know you're a douchebag, and I'm coming to explain it to you.
It's
so,
cool. If you want to put their name out there, put it out there.
You know, so Pauly Shore, you suck.
This dude ain't been hot.
No, buddy, you suck, bro. Right? And I ran into him again. So anyway, let me tell you, right? So him and his entourage were like, does it look like we need a discount on shoes? We can buy shoes. And why would I buy shoes from a kid's Foot Locker? And what? And I'm like, little do you know, like all these Foot Lockers are intertwined and we all hang out with each other, you know? Like, in a sense, at that age, we thought we ran them all. you know, because there were so many shoe stores and we were all clicked in and we all had to plug on who got what shoes for when. Whenever the Jordan shipment came in, guess the employees got everything before anybody else. You already know we had it all on, right? From the fresh gear in there. So we were already tied in. So it's just like, so I can make a phone call and you're getting no shoes, bro.
See? Look at that. Now you got flip right. Now you got flip.
And I got no shoes for you, bro. Now we're gonna double the price on you, bro. Like, you know, so this guy's just his entourage just starts tripping, Matrix. And we're going back and forth, and I'm just like, hey man, I'm just trying to give you my discount. I'm sorry, you know, I don't want no smoke. You know, at that time, I don't want no problems. I'm just trying to plug you, you know, my apologies. And he's just going off on me, right? And mind you, it was just me and another employee at that time. I didn't have my manager there, who was a bigger dude that, you know, I'm sure if he was there, it would have been a different story, right? You know, because this guy was a monster at that time. But it's just like still, you know, like I didn't have nobody to have my back at that time. And it sucked to have to deal with that. I had to take a step back and be like, okay, this could be a problem, you know? You know what I mean? And so I let him go on his merry way. And then about I want to say 15 years, maybe 20 years later, maybe 2010 or 12, about 12 years, 11 years later, I'm working at a nightclub and I'm manning the elevator, right? And so for you to get to the floor that you need to get to, I'm the only way you're going to get there. Right?
You got to go through me.
Yeah. You got to go through me. I control the elevator. You can't get up to that VIP area that you want to. I got the key and the lock and the floor accessibility. I got all of that shit, right? Like I hit radio, say this guy's not coming. Don't give a fuck who he is. That guy doesn't come up. They don't give a fuck who he is. Right? Okay. Right? So that's that, right? I'm the last filter that gets up to that room before management touches base up in this elevator, right? So in comes Pauly Shore into my elevator.
Karma, baby. It goes around, comes around.
Hey, man, here comes Pauly Shore, right? And I close the door. Lock it. Hey, and what? You know, I'm 100 pounds heavier than I was then, you know? And like, he comes in and I'm like, oh, what's up, buddy? Right? Matrix. This motherfucker looks at me and he was just like, man, not cool, man. Not cool. And I said, hey, Pauly, you know what's not cool, bro? That you and your entourage tried to jump me when I used to work at a mall at Foot Locker a long time ago in Arden Fair Mall in Sacramento. That shit wasn't cool, bro. Now it's just me and you by ourselves in a fucking elevator, dog. Where are you trying to go? He was like, oh, man, I know what you're talking about. I said, yeah, you fucking do, buddy.
I bet you do. Yeah, you know.
You know exactly who the fuck I am, bro. And he was just like, bro, you're so much bigger than before, bro. Like, and I'm like, hey, man, pay up or get the fuck out of my elevator, bro. And he was like, come on, man, come on. It's a customer service, motherfucker. Pay up or get the fuck out of my elevator.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go. Get him off here.
Yes, sir. Give me that loot, bro, or you ain't going nowhere. Take the fucking stairs.
So much bigger than me. What? See?
And he's short.
Yeah, he's pretty small, dude.
Pauly Shore is nobody to be a tough guy, right? He's just had a little bit of fame, did a lot of coke, and that's what he said too. He's like, sorry, man, I was on so much coke back then. He goes, no, I'm just trying to have a good time, dude. I'm just trying to have a good time. And I'm like, yeah, I was just trying to do my job. So pay up or get the fuck off my elevator, bro. And he was like, damn. He was like, damn. Karma's a bitch. Sure is, bro. What goes around comes around, doggy.
Yeah, he asked for that.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
You shit on, man. You can't just go around shitting on people. You can't. It's not cool.
You really can't.
Not at all. Not.
Especially in big towns, man.
Yeah.
You know, especially in big towns, you can't go around shitting on people. And you know who does that a lot out here, man? Law enforcement does that a lot out here, man.
Not good.
They do that a lot. And most of the time, it's in the nicer neighborhoods. So, like, when they go out to bars that are, upper scale, higher end bars, out in the outskirts of Las Vegas. And let me tell you, man, cops are the fucking worst, dude. When they're drunk, man, they're the worst ones. They're the worst ones you got to deal with, bro. Like, rich people have entitlement, but cops have that inner anger, that they hold inside. So it's like the shit that you deal with when it comes to a cop being drunk causing a scene is different than someone with money that's drunk causing a scene. Cops push the limits. Like rich people that are entitled like Karens, you know what I'm saying? Like this, like cops are more like armed dictators and shit when they go out and they get drunk. This is my way. This is how it's going to happen. Here's my badge, and you just kind of got to fucking deal with it. But, those are the worst. And I've had cops, man, that'll come in a group of 5 or 6 and take shots after shots and not eat. Most of the time, anybody else that comes in, they'll order shots and then they'll order some food and they'll order a bunch of drinks and then, and then they'll order some food and they're good. Yeah, man. They keep the flow, and cops will just pile on the alcohol tab, and then, if it turns into an issue, it turns into an issue. Now, I'm not saying all cops are like that, and I'm not saying that every group of police officers that you meet when they're out and about are like that. But I will say the ones that are like that are pretty much, it sucks, dude. It sucks.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. You got intoxicated. You all discombobulated, and you got a gun on you.
Right.
You don't know what some idiot gonna do. Some of them are sober. So imagine you drunk with all that stuff on you, and you power struck. You know what I mean? Like not good at all.
Yeah, man. So customers are not always right all the time.
Sure thing, though. Ridiculous. Oh, we lost him. Not sure what happened to that, but we have to get him back. We'll bring him back for another episode, y'all. We out. Go Birds. Check, please.